And we're back. I just want to make sure the camera's recording.
Guess who back in the house?
Hi everyone. If you don't know me, my name is April Cosmic. Yes, I used to make videos about RuPaul's Drag Race a long time ago, but things happened. If you want to know exactly what happened, see my other video about my screensaver. Yes, it explains it all. If you don't know me, hello again. I'm April Cosmic. I am the mother of the House of Cosmic here in Sonora, Mexico. So today, what we are attempting to do is to rank all the seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm only speaking of regular seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race US because I just wanted to come back into the sphere of RuPaul's Drag Race. And let's get right into it because I don't know how much the battery's gonna last, and also, you know, gotta get into it. So we're gonna do this like really fast and frantically because yes, I don't know how much battery the camera has left, and also I did not have anything to write. Maybe I should have like a paper or something. We're gonna do this the old way. Okay, wait a minute. All right, let's go get a paper. Okay, there we go. Here we go. This seems suitable enough. I should have thought this before recording, but I know I love the chaos, you know. This is how I am. So, okay, we have 16 seasons to, you know, put into place and tell us which ones are the best and the worst of RuPaul's Drag Race US. Okay, so I'm trying to get back into the discussion of RuPaul's Drag Race I did on my previous videos that you can check out, but I have not. So I have no idea how I rank the videos. However many years ago I did those videos. I have a rough idea, but I have no idea how to rank the seasons at the time, and we have new seasons that we can rank. So I'm gonna do this real quick before the camera turns off. Okay, now we have our list, ladies and gentlemen, because I made it on the spot, and we're gonna do it just as it is. Okay, so I'm gonna read it back a little bit better, you know. Because,
what did she just say?
Okay. Here we go. So in the last place on the list, we have season 11. As I mentioned before, I think that what makes a good season of RuPaul's Drag Race is when Drag Race is able to balance the reality from the competition and the competition with the reality. We sometimes miss the balance between both elements, reality and competition. And I think that the season that demonstrates this the worst is season 11 of RuPaul's Drag Race. I think that we can see that the mistreatment of a lot of queens, specifically I think Sugar Cane and Nina West, not giving Miss Vanjie the win for the makeover, giving Brooklyn so many wins, only giving Evie one win, which was I think shared with Scarlet Envy. It was just a mess. They kept pushing Silkina and Meganache, and it seemed that it was for nothing. They kept pushing Sasik Tiara, and it seemed that it was for nothing. I think that the seeds that they planted grew in a way that they didn't want, and the season ended up being a convoluted mess. I don't necessarily disagree with Evie winning, but I think that the show should have done a better job of justifying her win, because they could have. She was in the top a lot of times, and they could have given her maybe just a second win to make it a little bit more. We could sit here complaining for hours, but we don't have that much time. So on the next spot, the 15th place, this is going to be messy because it's like a lot of numbers, but the second worst season in my mind is season 13. I think that I really like a lot of the queens on specifically on this season, and it had a little bit more better moments compared to season 11, but it was still a very flawed season. This whole ordeal of the beginning of dividing into winners and losers and not eliminating people for so long. And season 13 is just not that girl. It was the first time with maybe I could have considered a double win between Gottmik and Simone. I think that statistically, competition-wise, Rosé should have won, maybe. I was rooting for Rosé because she had the most wins and she was never in the bottom compared to Simone, who had 4 wins but was in the bottom. And I think more than once, if I'm not mistaken. But we ended up with a very convoluted, overlong season that overstayed its welcome, and it was very weird. It was very, very weird of a season. Next on the spot, on the 14th place, I think that it's season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race. I think that we're gonna see where we put season 9, but I think that season 10 really had to follow an incredible season that I think redefined a lot of what RuPaul's Drag Race is today. You know, the step into making RuPaul's Drag Race this very big and viral thing and not just this niche show, I think was when season 9 happened. And season 10 had to follow and fill very big like footsteps. And I think it just failed to do so. I was actually okay with Eureka's storyline throughout the show, but a lot of people weren't. And the lip sync for the finale, girl, it was just not it. I think that it was a good idea for season 9, but it was it. I do not like it at all, and it's still like that for the seasons that are currently airing, and I do not like that you have to lip sync for the crown at the end, because I think it undermines the wins that and the effort that you put into the actual season. Because if you slay the lip sync at the finale, even if you didn't slay the challenges, then you could win the crown. And I don't know, it just doesn't sit well with me. And season 10, I just think that we saw how people wanted to pull out the biggest stunt and everything. It was just a mess. Next season on the spot, I think it's season 14. Season 14 for me was very forgivable. I think it was very forgettable. And I think that season 14 was going okay, but they started to mess, I think, when they made George's and Jasmine Kennedy lip sync and not eliminate one of the two. That's when I felt like it is not going so good. It's making it not taste so good. I like the twists and the turns, but at the end, when there are, I think, like 5 people at the finale, and girls, it was just a mistake. It was just a mistake. And Jerry had a very strong beginning, but she had trouble like maintaining her status, you know, throughout the season. And I think that the person who had the best storyline that justified an incredible win was Diabetes, in my opinion. I was not a fan of Diabetes at the beginning of the show, but to see such a complex character that started from the bottom and went all the way to the finale, I thought that storyline was so amazing that I thought that she deserved to win. But this convoluted mess of having 5 people at the finale and do individual lip sync for performances, which were like very iffy to, you know, to evaluate and to say who goes to the final lip sync for the crown or whatever. While Willow Pill was, I think, very much a great queen, I think that the season did not justify enough for her to take the crown story-wise or competition-wise. I think that even Lady Camden would have been a more surprising and compelling winner. But again, it's just my opinion. It's not a comment on their drag, but that's how the show handled the story for them to give them the crown. You know? I'm not getting drunk. This doesn't have alcohol because I cannot drink alcohol because, you know, meds. Next on the list is season 15. I personally, on the spot number 12, we have season 15. This is getting so messy, but bear with me. Season 15, I think, is this weird midpoint where the show is neither good nor bad. It's just what it is. And it felt somehow a little basic. I'm so sorry. But I think that I feel just so over, so many thoughts. Season 15, I think that Sasha Colby winning, in theory, is a good thing. But the show could have made a bigger effort to, you know, just make it a little bit more interesting. I don't know. Like a little bit more like, is she gonna win? Is she not? But it felt like she's gonna win. We all knew it from day one. And in a way that was not exciting. In a way that was just like, I don't think she literally like obliterated the competition in a way to justify like, oh, she has this in the bag. It was just like, oh, the show was gonna give it to her. You know what I mean? I think that I was not as entertained as other seasons. I think that they did push a little bit of Sasha for the win, so I was just not convinced. But at the same time, it wasn't because it was horrible, it was just so mid. And I think that every season that I mentioned from here down, you know, the lower spots, do have a bad taste in my mouth. Season 15 is the meh season for me. I just don't care for it. But we're getting better because on the next spot, on the spot number 11, is season 1. You know, I think that it's the first season, and I think it has a lot of great moments, but it just compared to the greatness that comes after it, it just doesn't stack up as well, even though, again, it is the blueprint and it's where it all came from. Season 1, I think, I feel conflicted over BB winning because I think that Nina Flowers did an outstanding job, and her pushing the boundaries of drag was so cool, but maybe it was too early because I think that if someone like Nina or Nina herself competed today, I think that she could have taken the crown. But I still like it. The iconic Chanel throughout the story of the season, all the drama, Angina, incredible. I think that season 1 ends up starting with the good seasons. Next on the spot, on the 10th spot, the 10th best season of RuPaul's Drag Race is season 7. Okay, here's where it gets complicated because I know that a lot of people give season 7 a lot of like shit, to be honest. But it's hard to complain about season 7 when arguably the two biggest queens to come out of the franchise, Trixie and Katya, this iconic duo, came from this season. And I think that this shift of Drag Race being this old school understanding of drag into mixing it with the new generation of drag, I think happened on season 7. And this change of the show as a whole. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's a good place for season 7. I feel like it's a little bit misunderstood. It's not great. It's not awesome, but it's not as bad as we remembered, I think. It has some incredibly iconic people on that cast. I think that, ironically, even though they do not have a good relationship now, but Pearl's storyline was, I think, a good one in a way. I felt I understood it. This push of an encounter of new girls of a new era with old queens of another generation, maybe a little bit older, with this old school drag versus new school drag. You know, I think it was interesting and cool. We got Katya, we got Trixie, we got Violet, we got Pearl, we got Ginger Minj, we got Kennedy Davenport. We got a lot of amazing queens, and I think that it's a very misunderstood season. I somehow understand that Violet won because I think that she represented that shift of the new generation of drag coming into the forefront. But I feel conflicted about it a little bit. Still, it doesn't sour all the season for me, but I feel a little conflicted because I think that Ginger Minj obliterated the competition aspect of it, and I do feel a little bit hurt that she didn't win. But here we are. But I also like that Violet won. So, conflicting. But again, a good season, not as bad as people remember. On the next spot, on the 9th place, ironically, it's season 8. I think that season 8, it's slightly better than season 7. But let me explain myself, because I think that the issue with season 8 is that it's not better than season 7 because the bad moments were not as bad, but also the good moments weren't as good. I personally do not have a great relationship with season 7 because I didn't connect with most of the people connected with. And it was very obvious. It was what Sasha Colby should have been. When Bob entered into the workroom, we knew that she was going to win. But it wasn't because the show was pushing it. It was because we saw the cast and it was like, Bob has it in the back. And I think that in Sasha's case, it wasn't like that. Honestly, in my opinion, and I'm no one, so who cares, you know? So, but also, I think it was a season a little bit bland, still entertaining, iconic. Rest in peace, Chi-Chi DeVayne, her amazing lip sync, Thor storyline of battling Bob all the time, I think was also entertaining, and she was an incredible performer, an incredible foe for Bob to prove herself against. No, I'm gonna get the win, not you. I think it was a very interesting play, so I think that it gets a good place. On the 8th place, I am placing season 2. Season 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race I think is pretty good. It has some rough edges, but I think it's only because Drag Race was in its infancy. I don't think it has to do with anything else, because this season is entertaining as hell. It gave us a lot of incredible queens like Pandora Box, like Tatiana, which at the moment, at the moment of season 2, I don't think she was doing that great, but All Stars 2, baby, Tatiana. Queen legend, okay? It gave us Jessica Wilde. It gave us Pandora Box. It gave us Tatiana, It gave us a lot of amazing queens. It gave us Jujubee. It gave us Raven. It was just so entertaining. Raven's storyline to the crown, which it didn't get, sadly, but Raven's storyline all the way to the end was so redeeming and great to watch, and it's a good season. It's entertaining. It has so many levels. It has some flows, and it has drama, and it has everything. So I don't know, I just like the placement of this season. Season 2, 8th place. On the 7th place is ironically the next season, season 3. It's a little bit over reliant on the fact of fashion, but I think that this is where Drag Race understood that it had to push a little bit more than just competition and insert a little bit of drama. They saw the drama of season 2 and they knew that they had something special in the bag. And it is so entertaining. The boogers versus the Heathers, and this returning of Shangela, of just the twists and the turns, which is something that I sometimes love and I sometimes totally hate below my heart of Drag Race. But I think that season 3 is incredibly entertaining, and even though it's a long season, it doesn't feel like it overstays its welcome, and I really like it. I like that it redeemed Shangela at the moment. I'm only speaking of Shangela as the character that we knew her on that show at that time, okay? Because I think that it's an iffy situation right now. If you know the details, you can look it up. But I think it did a good job at the time to redeeming Shangela from being the first eliminated of season 2 to getting as far as she did on season 3. The incredible performance of the top 3 of Alexis Mateo, Manila Luzon, and Raja, and also on the 4th place, Yara Sofia. I mean, all the way around, it was a very tight race, a very entertaining season, a very dramatic season. Season 3 is that girl. And we start to see the competitive players really come out. Ironically, on the next place, on the place number 6, we have times 2, season 12. I love season 12, and it's so weird to me because it came after season 11, which I think is the worst season the show has ever produced in the American version. But season 12 really rescued, I think, this bad image that it was starting to get, because season 10 was because season 10 was not great, season 11 was worse, and season 12 really was like, we can get back into the groove. Other than I'm forgetting all the names, but season 12 is just amazing. We had Jada, we had Gigi, we had Jackie, we had Widow, we had Heidi, we had who else? Rakan Sakura. And it was just, it started iffy, but it ended on a very good note. And I think that around all the controversies that surrounded the season, and it being in the middle of the pandemic, and still ending up being such an entertaining and tight race, I mean, Crystal Method's storyline, one of the best on the show. It was just great. I mean, come on. I think it's just a great season. Okay, and in 5th place, ironically, it's season 5. I know that a lot of people think that it's the best season of RuPaul's Drag Race. I personally don't connect with this season as much, but I also understand that it was just such a great stepping stone for RuPaul's Drag Race and the juggernaut that it is today. The cast is incredible. We get it. This entire storyline of Alaska Talks against Jinx is so entertaining. And Jinx winning felt like such a great, this is what I mean, you know, it was a tight race. We got a great competition, but everyone had 2 wins at the end. But what pushed Jinx to the win was this very humane aspect that comes from the reality side, not the competition side. And when you connect the two, and you make a great season that does both elements of the show justice. That's a good show. That's a good season. And I think that season 5 did that. I still don't adore it as much as I think the rest of the fan does, but I put it in a damn place because I like it still a lot. And then in the 4th place, I think that we have season 9. Season 9 for me is just so great, so entertaining. We had such amazing characters. We had so much entertainment all the way to the end. This incredible, shocking elimination of Valentina. This slow, but all the way to the end to getting a win for Peppermint and being an incredible lip sync assassin. This incredible storyline of Trinity Taylor at the time, now Trinity the Tuck, discovering that she was more than a pageant queen, but that she could be funny and glamorous and exploring way more, and showing such growth during the actual filming of the show. It's so mind-blowing to me. I adore it. Shea Coulee also obliterating the competition as it goes, but also the silent but deadly killer that would end up being Sasha Velour, and the twist of it all, the end of the series, that rose petal reveal. Season 9 is amazing, you guys. I think that it's a pivotal moment. I think a very decisive moment, because I don't like the lip sync for the crown staying after that season. I liked it for that season, and I liked it that it was because we had such bad lip syncs, ironically, with Charlie Hines and with Valentina and everything. But I do not like it afterwards, but I really like it in this one. It was a shock that I enjoyed. So season 9 is that bitch, is a number 4. On the 3rd place, I think that it's season 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race. I think you're starting to see where this is going. Okay, I think that season 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race is really, really amazing. Again, as with Shangela, the winner of season 4 is just not. We don't support anything that she did after the show, but during, I think that her storyline was amazing. The storyline that the show produced and was able to pull out of the contestants. We have the amazing, mind-blowing lip sync of This Will Be with Dita Ritz. We also have Latrice Royale obliterating every lip sync that she did and just charming everyone, like people falling in love with the queen that much. I think we hadn't seen until Latrice Royale. She was really beloved by the whole fandom. This encounter of Fifi versus Sharon, and also Chad being such a perfect, like a perfectionist, and this encounter of them in the top 3, and that anyone could win, but giving it to Sharon again. We don't support her after the show, but understanding that storyline, it's just so impactful, and I think that it was such a beautiful show, and it's when the showrunners really knew how to construct the stories that they wanted to make. Okay? And they really, really understood, we have something special and we are changing the game. I think that season 4 was that realization, and I think that it's incredibly entertaining, so it's in the 3rd best season, in my opinion, of RuPaul's Drag Race US. On the 2nd spot, this is quite controversial because it's quite recent, and I might regret it, but I'm going to say season 16. I personally think that is the 2nd best season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Yes, I said it. Why? It is just so entertaining. Nobody holds back. The talent is overflowing. Safira Crystal in every single runway devouring those bitches. The incredible, quirky, and amazing fashions of Nymphia, Wind. I mean, come on. Those two juggernauts on the same season seems so unfair. The incredible narrator of the entire season, Morphin Love Dion, the shocking elimination of Mirage, this like Queen of Flips. I mean, it was just a lot. And I think that it gave us what we needed to have. And it gave us, an incredibly entertaining season. And I have to admit that maybe it's a little bit high because one of my favorite queens to ever be on the show, Plain Jane, is on this season. And I honestly think that she could have won. But I feel okay that she didn't. Plain don't kill me. But what I mean by that is that she really, in theory, if we're talking about competition, I think that the top two should have been Saphira and Plain Jane. But also, we can discuss a lot of things. I know that the wins are a little iffy because I don't think that Saphira should have won that sort of like presentation, PowerPoint sort of kind of thing. I don't know what to call it, challenge. I don't think that Saphira should have won that. I think that Plain Jane and Q should have won it. This storyline with Q of always being like the bridesmaid, but the bride was sorry for Q's mental health, but it was entertaining as an audience member to see all the drama that came from it. But also, I just love Plain Jane. I think that I remember so distinctly when the cast was like announced and you saw the entrances, only the entrances. I was like, Plain Jane, Nymphia Wind, my two babies. I'm going all the way for those girls. And it was right. They went all the way to the finish line. Plain Jane didn't make it to the top two, but I think that it was such an amazing storyline. I think that it's one of my favorites. I'm not sure if I'll say the best, but one of my favorite storylines that the show has ever done. Because again, she was mean. She was playing this sort of dirty game and mind games, but at the same time, those looks, those talents, she was undeniable as an amazing competitive force of the show, and I just love her so much. And I don't know, I'm a huge fan of Katya, so this Slavic, Russian aesthetic and just buffoonery and this bimbo aesthetic of being just dumb, and Plain Jane just ticks all the boxes for me. And I think that she could have stayed as a villain, but we really saw her heart, I think, at one point. I'm over talking about Plain Jane, but again, this season was great, not only because of Plain Jane, which I think could have won, but anyone of the top three could have won, and it would have been fine, honestly, which makes it such a great season, that it's like, anyone can take it, and I will be fine. Nymphia, incredible winner. If Saphira would have won, it would have been amazing as well. If Plain would have won, what an amazing storyline of being such a villain, but such a competitive force that you win. I mean, it was just amazing all the way around. And also, Morphin Love Dion and that lip sync all approves the thing going as it went. And the redemption of Megami is just season 16 is so good. And it's only surpassed by the standard that we all know that is season 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race, the best season of the regular seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race. I think that there's so much to say. The introduction of Ben de la Creme and that storyline with Darian Lake, of course, Courtney Act and her perfectionism and her being just so clean and so everything. So, this incredible, charming baby of Adore Delano of season 6 that made it all the way to the end, and discovering herself and polishing herself and the nurturing relationship that she had with Bianca. Bianca obliterating the competition in the same dress during the entire season and still being the motherfucking winner is just amazing. The redemption that Trinity K. Bonet had during the season of being bitter to actually learning and enjoying and discovering new talents from her. Everything was just great. The entertaining charm of Jocelyn Fox, these boundaries that were pushed by people like Milk, the drama of Laganja Estranja, that at the time we all agreed that she was doing too much, yet the next season we were all saying, oh, it was just season 6. is that bitch. Okay, but as I was saying, that is my ranking of all the season of RuPaul's Drag Race. I know the video is humongously long, but maybe if you liked it, you can subscribe and you can help me out. I will be doing more videos. As you can see, maybe if you know a lot of my content, I also have a podcast with my bestie, with my sister, Donnie, and we have a podcast called Jutonio. It's in Spanish, a little bit of English, thrown in because of me, of course. We speak about everything on a queer lens, and we make fun of the most serious things that we take being stupid very seriously, of course. And you can stay tuned for more videos analyzing pop culture and me just buffooning around and documenting my life and sharing my knowledge and what knowledge I don't have. This is empty right here. But as I said, I'm the mother of the House of Cosmic, the first ever house in the ballroom scene in Sonora, Mexico, the first like main house in the state, and the ones who were bringing ballroom to Sonora because we didn't have any ballroom. So I also want to bring that into the channel, and I also want to keep doing Drag Race stuff, and I want to keep doing most of sharing my personal things, as you saw with that screensaver video. So stay tuned, subscribe, and thank you for watching.